welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a new Hulu movie, Run. Before I begin, let me know in the comments if you were looking forward to this or what your thoughts are if you've seen it already, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews. It helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This stars Kiera Allen as Chloe, a homeschooled, wheelchair-bound teenager who lives with her overprotective mom Diane, played by Sarah Paulson. Over time, Chloe starts to pick up that something's not right with Diane's behavior, and soon begins to suspect that she may be hiding something truly sinister. This was actually supposed to be released on Mother's Day weekend in theaters until the pandemic changed its plans and Hulu picked it up, but it's directed by Anish Shagante, who also co-wrote the script, and this is his second film after 2018's Searching, which was an excellent film. If you haven't seen it by now, you're truly missing out, because I highly recommend seeing it. And like Searching, he once again gives us a film that will keep you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. This is a 90-minute movie and it goes by in an instant, and that's due to some fantastic direction from Shagante. Each scene is incredibly fast-paced with a lot of tight camera angles and with many scenes cutting back and forth between two different things going on, accompanied by some screeching, chilling music. And it'll be one thing right after another, after another, after another. The film rarely lets you take a breather, even in moments where characters literally have to stop to catch their breath. It's played for some really tense thrills. We see at the beginning there's a title card that lists a bunch of disorders, all of which Chloe has, including asthma, and there are a few times where she needs to stop what she's doing to use her inhaler, including during some really critical moments that were fantastically done. There's very much a Hitchcockian angle to this. It's a horror movie, but it's more in the sense of feeling confined or feeling trapped, very similar to Rear Window. Chloe has this anxiety looming over her for nearly the entire film as she starts picking up on clues that things may not be as well as they seem. We see this almost exclusively through her point of view, and anytime we get a scene that's focused on her away from her mother, the camera will close in on her as if it's smothering her relentlessly, and it just cranks up the tension perfectly. If you've also seen the film Misery, you'll be reminded a lot of that as well when watching this. That's another excellent movie and one of my all-time favorites, and it felt like Shagante was trying to pay homage to that film a little bit as well. It didn't feel like a blatant ripoff, but obviously one similarity between those two is that one character's wheelchair bound and stuck in this one house, and they suspect that something's not totally right with this person taking care of them. But still, even with those vibes there, I thought the way this was handled, it was very well done, and it didn't feel just like a beat-by-beat recreation of Misery in any way. One other big positive for me was the performances. Now, I'll be totally honest, I'm not exactly a big Sarah Paulson fan. I'm not really into American Horror Story, and most of her recent work where she had a huge role, like Glass, I didn't particularly care for. So she was my one reservation going into this, but she did a very good job here. She's very creepy, and she really captures the overprotective nature of this character that borders on obsessive, and this was probably some of her best work. But the real star of this is Kiera Allen, making her feature debut, and she absolutely steals the show. What's just excellent about her character is that she's used to being in this house almost 24/7, outside of any little trips she takes into town with her mom, like going to the movies. But she's also not portrayed as naive. She's still a fully fleshed out, interesting character who we enjoy rooting for. Even as we see her world begin to collapse around her as she starts digging deeper and deeper into some of these clues, she's clearly frightened out of her mind, but she thinks quickly and acts quickly. Even when she doesn't immediately know what exactly to do next, she manages to think things through so she can get out of some of these troubling situations. And Allen's performance is just captivating, and she sells it whenever Chloe has to improvise her way out of some situations. She has us hooked in the entire time, and I'm really looking forward to what she does next. So it's difficult to talk about this movie without getting into spoilers, so I won't go into too much detail beyond that. Though, as for negatives, I don't have too many, but the one thing I'll say is that given the premise of the film, you do know to a degree what kind of movie you're walking into. It's obvious from the beginning something's off about Sarah Paulson, which is the whole point of the movie. So in a sense, this film does play some of its cards a bit too early. Even if you completely avoided the trailer and just read the plot description, you'll realize it. There are especially things said and done in the first 15 minutes or so where you can tell something's clearly off, even if Kiera Allen doesn't pick up on it herself right away. And they'll circle back to these points later on in the movie, but more than likely, you already called it. Not every single twist, at least for me, but a few. But honestly, that didn't take away from my enjoyment of the film or anything, because I was still hooked the entire time, and that makes up heavily for the fact that you know something's off almost immediately. The film's strengths heavily lie in taking the somewhat familiar setup and finding different ways in which it can increase the tension until everything just pops. And it does just that. Every single scene felt extremely engaging, building off one another, constantly increasing the stakes all the way till the end. And because of that, it was a success. I had a wonderful time with this. It takes a simple premise that has sort of been seen before and turns it into a non-stop thrill ride. It's an extremely fast-paced movie that takes such a stylistic approach to building up the tension, with each scene building off what came before it. It's a quick 90 minutes that doesn't waste a second, hooking you in with some excellent direction, a frightening soundtrack, and two fantastic lead performances from Kiera Allen and Sarah Paulson. It's on Hulu now, and it's a must-see. Run gets a 9.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Run, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the story? Did you find it scary? And what's a good movie on Hulu that you've seen lately? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.